guys, it's WhisperSister. I wanted to do a video in response to RandomWhispers' love video, and I did actually record one yesterday, but it wasn't really adding anything new to the conversation about love, so I'm going to leave it for now. I might upload it later, but in the meantime, I got the idea to do a video on basically love's opposite, which is fear, as far as I'm concerned. I think that there's basically two forces in the universe, two emotions, really, and that's love and fear, and every other emotion you feel basically can be boiled down to one of those two things. So, yeah, as a disclaimer, you're going to hear me talk about my dad quite a bit in this video because he's pretty much my hero, and, like, I'd say probably at least 80 to 90% of the advice that I've gotten in life that I've really taken to heart has been from him. So a lot of this video is just going to be pretty much me regurgitating what he's told me over the years. And then also, this video is going to have swearing in it. It's going to have the F word in it a couple times, so just prepare yourselves for that. Anyways, yeah, so the idea came to me this morning when I was in the shower, because one of my fears, and it's not really a big fear, but it's just something that I freak myself out about every once in a while, is that in the morning when I'm alone in the house and I go to run the shower, I freak out that somebody's going to break into the house and like rape and murder me while I'm in the shower. And, you know, it's just kind of, you know, that like irrational fear that you get, which you know is completely not based in reality, but it's just, you know, once it's in your brain, it's kind of hard to get rid of it and feel comfortable. So, and there's just something about that time of morning when, like, it's dark out still, and, you know, you turn the shower on and then you can't hear anything else, so if somebody was to sneak up behind you, you wouldn't even hear it. And, like, if someone was to break in while I'm in the shower, there's not a hell of a lot I could do about it if they wanted to attack me, right? So, I mean, it's based in, I guess, something that could possibly happen, but it's very, very unlikely. And so, as I was in the shower, I was thinking about why some fear is quite easy to see through like that, you know, and then some fear is a lot more convincing and harder to shake. And so, for an example, being murdered in the shower is quite unlikely and quite, you know, it's not really based in reality. So it's quite easy to realize that that's just me being irrational and being scared for no reason, versus my personal fear of, like, getting old and I guess eventually dying. The fact that I feel like I'm running out of time and all of this stuff that freaks me out. Also, none of that is really based in reality. I mean, just because the fear of aging and dying is more realistic doesn't mean it's any more real, or doesn't have to be any more real. And I think that now, okay, this is obviously me talking about my life and my experience being raised in, you know, having a pretty safe and secure upbringing. Like, I know that there are places in the world where people still, fear is a very real thing, and a very, you know, there's reasons for it, like in areas where there's war and violence, and like, I know that I've led a pretty sheltered life, so this is just me talking about my take on it as it pertains to me in a so-called sort of Western, you know, modern world or whatever. But I think that a lot of these fears that we have, because they are like fear originally, you know, as a human or any animal really, it's there to try and alert you to danger and get you out of danger. That's the whole purpose of it. And in our world, in my world, a lot of the things that I fear are these vague, abstract, future dangers that don't really exist. Like, there's nothing that I can, you know, it's not like I'm running from a tiger, and if I can just get away from the tiger, I can calm down. It's like there is no stimulus that can be removed so that I feel okay. It's all in my head, basically, and it's all my fearing something that's going to happen in the future. And I think that part of why it's so much harder to get rid of those fears and see through them. Yeah, so my dad, he loves acronyms. He kind of, he uses them a lot, like wordplay and acronyms to kind of drive his point home. And, you know, they're kind of corny, but they work and they're easy to remember too. So he's got 3 acronyms for fear. And they're pretty much like 3 different responses that you can have to fear. And so the first one is fuck everything and run. And basically that's where you just react blindly to fear and you just run away from whatever's scaring you. And, you know, you don't face up to anything or question it at all. And then the second one is false evidence appearing real. And this is where I tend to live my life, or at least try to, at least, is where you can realize that your fear is not real. And to me, this means that, this basically means, like, not to trust my fear and my fear-based emotions and reactions to things. So if I'm facing a conflict in my life or a decision or anything, and I can tell that the decision I'm about to make or the thoughts that I'm having are based in fear, then I know not to trust that and not to do whatever it is that I was going to do, or, you know, like, just not to act from fear, because it's a lie, and it's going to take you to places that aren't very healthy, and keep you limited. Whereas if I can try and get into a place of love and trust and faith, and by faith I mean basically trusting that, you know, everything will work out if I let it, then I tend to make a lot better decisions for myself. So that's kind of where I try to be, at least. And then the third response to fear is to face everything and recover. And that's what I'm working towards for myself, is to actually learn from my fears and see what they're trying to show me, and hopefully transform them instead of being, you know, controlled by them and limited by them, to be able to actually get rid of them, or, you know, learn from them and heal them. So that's kind of how I look at fear, is to me it's a lie, plain and simple. You know, it can be a very, very convincing lie, but it is a lie. And the other thing I wanted to mention about fear, this is again a point that my dad made, is that if you're scared of something, try and turn it around to respect for the thing that you're afraid of. So for an example, this is an analogy that he used. Imagine you're standing in the middle of a forest, and the forest is on fire, and there's a wall of flames rushing towards you, and you're scared. Obviously, you're staring, you're terrified, you're paralyzed. Fear, it basically paralyzes you, and you're just stuck. Of course, the fear is useful to alert you to that danger, but in order for you to take any action to get away from the danger or change anything, you need to turn that into respect. So respect the fact that the fire will kill you if you don't get out of the forest, and then turn around and run out of the forest, you know. That's the difference between fearing something and respecting it. And so for me, to take it back to what I'm afraid of, which is like that I'm wasting my life, blah, 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 whatever, you know, I can try and turn that around and turn it into respect for time and how limited it is, and use that as a motivator to actually get off my ass and do the things I want to do in my life. You know, respect for the pressures that get put on you as you become an adult, and the forces of inertia that can build up if you don't guard yourself against them, you know. Just being afraid of those things just keeps you paralyzed and frozen. But if you can actually just, you know, respect the danger and then do something to counteract it, I think you're a lot farther ahead. So that's kind of what I try to do. I don't always succeed, but that's what I try to do. But anyways, I'm out of time. I'd love to hear any of your guys' fears, and how you can maybe turn them around into something positive or something, that you can actually work with. I think sometimes sharing our fears can sort of show them for the lies that they are. When you say it out loud, it suddenly seems less convincing. So feel free to comment or do a video response or whatever. Let me know what you're afraid of, and if you can see that it's a lie, see that it's not real, what you think it might be trying to show you, maybe. I'd be interested to know. So anyways, everyone have a great day, and I will talk to you again soon.